Three, two, one. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Rolling on Three, the first podcast for all three wheel owners. Whether you're riding on a Ryker, Spider, Slingshot, anything on three wheels, this is the show for you. Today, I'd like to welcome my friend Mike. Mike from Las Vegas, Nevada. Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. It's great to have you. Great to have you, bro. I always start off the show with the same question. What are you rolling on?
Just a Riker 900. I was gonna get the rally, but chickened out last second. I just went with the normal nine. But I love it. I love it.
What year, Riker?
2020.
2020. All right, cool. Picked it up. Where'd you pick it up from? Dealer?
Yeah, there's a little spot. Well, there's a bunch in Vegas, but I went to a place called Ride Now. They sell a bunch of different types of off-road vehicles, and this was the only place that at least I found that sold Rikers. And immediately, just sitting on it, I was sold.
Oh, perfect, man. Perfect. Oh, when did you pick it up exactly? Like, was it a few weeks ago, or a couple of months?
Oh
Like,
no, it was May of 2020.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
So you've
the
been riding
pandemic.
around. Oh, pandemic purchase.
Yeah.
No, that seems to be a real big hit. Pandemic purchase. What made you look into getting the Riker?
So initially I actually was gonna get a Spider F3. They had one over at one of the dealership I was looking at, but for the price, I just couldn't quite justify it in my brain. So instead, I went with a Honda Rebel, which I know is completely opposite. And I just did it because the money. I was just like, it's 6,000 for this, so no big deal. I rode that thing for a little bit, and instant buyer regret. I really wanted the three wheels. I tried so hard to force myself to think of a motorcycle, but in the end, I just fell in love with the design, the way it sits, and that torque in that back wheel. It gives you a thrill of a kick, and I just love it.
Nah. Did you test ride it before?
No,
Oh, so you
I
just
did test ride the Spider,
mhm.
and I just kind of figured generally the same as far as the way it rolls, but once I found it was fully automatic, I was just like, I got this.
Real, no doubt on that, for real. So you said you bought the Honda Rebel, right? So
hmm
you just immediately went from a two-wheel and jumped straight into the three-wheel. How was that transition?
Um, it wasn't that bad at all. Mainly because I didn't ride the two wheel a whole lot. I did for a little while, but I just wasn't crazy. My hands were getting a little bit cramped from all the clutching on and off. And in this city, I was using it a little bit more as a commuter because I didn't really want to do any far off rides immediately. And Vegas, um, we have awful drivers. You know,
Sounds like
we
New York.
Yeah, well, at least in New York, everyone understands that they're awful. So like they all know each other's style of driving. Really close, really aggressive. In Vegas, because everyone comes from all over, no one quite
Mm.
knows each other's style. So you have a New Yorker who's bumper to bumper, and then you got some guy from Wisconsin who's taking his time, and the two just end up meeting up on the highway. It's wild.
That's a pretty good analogy. I never thought it like that. It's just you got to know the style of the state you're driving
Yeah.
in. But those big tourist states, I guess, Vegas, everybody's coming in. So you're right. They're renting everything, any
hmm
type of car, and they're just wild out in the streets, and the habits are clashing. That's cool though. So tell me about, well, since you said your city, so tell me about riding in Vegas in the city. How was that?
Riding in Vegas, when you're in the city, it is it can be a little treacherous. Like at times there are a lot of people who don't pay attention. Alcohol is 24/7, so
Mm.
there's never not a drunk driver at any given time. It doesn't matter. I can buy liquor at 1 a.m., 10 a.m. and I can get it anywhere too. You know, some states they kind of separate it to like a state liquor store. Vegas is free for all. So
Wow.
every gas station has, you know, mainly beer, but some will have hard liquor too. So you just have to be really careful out here, and especially when you're in the commuting in the areas. But once you get outside the city, just like anywhere else, wide open, beautiful, a lot of fun. But the moment you kind of roll back in, Las Vegas Boulevard's a perfect example. It's awful.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that. You're coming from a man who's been in his share of accidents. So how would you tell someone to ride if they came down with their Riker and they're riding in Vegas? What tips would you give them now? Because
Um,
you're a New Yorker who moved to Vegas, so and you got a pretty good upper hand on how it is to ride in style. So now when a New Yorker comes down to Vegas or comes across to Vegas, not down,
mhm.
what would be the tips if they ride in their Riker?
um, I mean, I'll say this: if you're gonna ride on Las Vegas Boulevard, slow. I mean, don't try and gun it at any given time. You can, but make sure you have some space before you. So try and do it slow. Try and kind of enjoy the ride. Watch out, especially on your sides, because people will cut over. They get very impatient if they're waiting at a light and they're like six cars back, and they see a little opening. They're going to take it.
Mm.
So be sure you watch your sides because they will cut.
Mm.
Um, and if you do see someone kind of swerving wild, you know, like they're a little uneven, back up, back up. Don't get in front of them because they'll hit you from behind.
Mm.
Back up.
All right. I
Um,
mean, that's a great tip. So all you speed demons that go down to across to Vegas, you better slow it down, right?
yeah.
Because we don't want no problems down there. So that's a great tip for all the visitors. So when you come to Vegas, like and you got your bike or you're with your people, you're riding, like what's the spot to hang out, the meetup spot, place people go to eat, chill, bring their bikes, that type of stuff.
um, I mean, I know you've touched on this before. This is the biker city,
Yeah.
and I know definitely one of the spots that a lot of bikers that I've ridden with in the past meet up at is the Las Vegas sign.
Okay.
A lot of them like to kind of meet up there on Facebook groups and then go from there on the rides.
Okay.
Um, and then there's a place called, I believe it's called Mountain Spring Saloon. It's a little bit off on your way to Pahrump from here. So if you're like in the center of Las Vegas on the strip, it's like a maybe 25-minute ride. And a lot of bikers meet up there. It is, you know,
Okay.
a very motorcycle club heavy place. So mind your manners.
Okay. Okay. I get it. I get it.
Good
All right.
food, good drinks though, good people overall.
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's good because I like, when people like just listen to the show and
mhm.
when they travel and I like to give people like tips like, oh yeah, I heard that's a good spot, when I'm, traveling across and, give them good places to go hang out, so I like when people tell me, that's the spot. If you got a bike, go hang out there and things like that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So we touched a little bit before that you're riding now with the Vegas Riker Riders.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
You know, I kind of tried something similar, but I was a little less ambitious because of you know, lazy. I'm not gonna lie, I got caught up with some other stuff and I was just like, I'll get around to it kind of mentality, and then it
Yeah, I
caught
hear
me.
you. I hear you.
Um, Marty was the one who kind of set it up, and I saw a post on Facebook about it, and I was just like, well, I mean, worth a shot because I was looking for people to ride with three on because riding with two wheelers in this city, you have two types of riders. You have your cruisers who kind
Hmm.
of roll heavy, but they also kind of like to stay within other Harleys or something like that. They don't really like to have outsiders who don't have that style of bike.
Right.
And then you have your super sports that, I mean, like, unless you want to break every law every day, ride with those guys. Like, they are wilding out all the time. So I didn't find a home with them. And then Marty kind of came along, provided this third option. And when I reached out to him, he was immediately super receptive. Like, yeah, let's do this. I have this vision. I want to make it happen. And I mean, the dude drips charisma. So like I kind of saw how hard he was pushing and hustling
Right.
immediately.
Right.
He was already naming vice presidents with Big Don, and I was just like, damn, like this dude is legitimately going at this. Um, and then only I think a week or two later, he was already talking about like having an entire group that we're joining that's nationwide, which is the Riker Riders. And
Right.
obviously, I have not heard of them up until this point.
Right.
And I mean, once that happened, I was like, oh, this is legit. This is like happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I spoke to Marty T. He was on shout out to Marty T, the president of the Riker Riders Vegas chapter. Yeah, I was talking to him. Yeah, he's very ambitious, very go forward. When he locked in on it, he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna make this a big thing," and he did. He did. I mean, it is work. I have to commend these guys who want to put together these chapters and things like that. It takes a lot. It's a real hustle. You got to dedicate some time, and it's true. You don't want to get into something that you can't fully commit to and then half-ass it. So shout out to them, and when they do put through, man, they make some good organizations. Shout out to him, shout out to Frank, the president of Riker Riders Worldwide. So yeah, man, I mean, that's cool now that you have some people that you could ride with that have the same bike. It is easier, especially, you don't want to, it's kind of, even though you're accepted, you don't want to ride with Harleys or sport bikes.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to ride with them because they do like to cut through like lane split, and it leaves me behind, puts me in a weird spot.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all like you said, they're all really cool. I didn't meet anyone who was like really harping on me about my bike. If anything, I got more interest from people than I kind of expected.
Okay.
There was a time where I was at the Las Vegas sign, and there was like me and like two or three other people just kind of at that moment. And this random person, I think it was a tourist, just walked up and was like, "Hey, can I take a picture on your bike in front of the Mandalay Bank?" And you like kind of put me in shot, and I'm just like, "Yeah, man, of course." So he sits on the bike, I take the picture, and then he's just like, "It's so cool." And to be honest with you, I get that a lot. To be honest, like people who are interested, and those who aren't, they know what they like already.
Right. Yeah, I still get it every once in a while out here. Like, what is that? That's cool. You'll see somebody hang out, want to take a picture, but it's not as great. I guess because it's getting so popular, you really only wind up not actual New Yorkers, but it's more like the tourists. They'll be like, hey, what is that? Where'd you get that? And now I see that there's certain places that rent them. Not around here yet. They don't rent Rikers, but I see in other states now they have the Riker rentals, and you can, take a ride out, which is, I think is cool too, because if you're not sure, and if it's your first time going from 2 wheels to 3 wheels is very different, and I tell people it's like I rode 2 wheels, but then I didn't ride for a very long time. So when I got on a 3 wheel, it was like, whoa, like this is not what I was like. Wait, hold on, this is different. It's not you got to get that motorcycle mentality out. And
Yeah.
I'm afraid because when I got my friends be like, hey, want to take a ride on my bike? I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should get on this thing. I'm not sure. It's 2 wheels. I'm like, I'm nervous, so I was like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, there's that special moment, and hopefully my brother never watches this, but he's a motorcycle guy, and one of the funniest moments just actually happened. I think 2 days ago when I was riding with the group. He on his Ducati, he comes up and I was like, "Hey man, you never ridden my bike before," and I let him ride it, and he came back and he's like, "Look, don't tell anyone, but this thing's dangerous and fun. I love it, but don't like tell anyone."
Keep it secret. It's too
Yeah.
late. A couple of 100,000 people gonna view this, and then he's gonna be like, "What did you do? I told you." And then you told the world. So, when you bought your bike, did you come out the dealer with any mods on it or stock? What you do?
I came out stock. As soon I think I was going to get the comfort seat and some new panels thrown on, and they told me how much it was going to cost to do the labor. And I looked up one YouTube video, and I was like, nah, fam, I'm not giving you $110 for you to just rip a seat up and put another one down. Like, not happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the dealers are making a lot of money on that. But
Yeah.
they did make the bike pretty easy to work on if you feel comfortable with doing work like that,
Mm-hmm.
and so I see a lot of people, of course, on YouTube and everything doing their own work, which is great because they made it pretty easy. So what are the mods you looking into?
Initially I wasn't gonna really do a whole lot. And then I joined the group and quickly realized that that is just not an option if I plan on keeping up appearances on that. And luckily, I recently just got an exhaust through one of the places that we go to. I'll say their name, but I'm sure you know it by now. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
last time you're like, if they want to talk, let them talk. So,
I know. I appreciate
um,
that.
and they gave me a deal. It was a twin. I think it was a two brothers exhaust. I took out the baffle, which is just kind of sitting here now, and I immediately noticed a difference in sound. So once that happened, like it's like when you get a tattoo and then like suddenly you want more. That's what happened. I had like a small taste of the mod, and I was like, okay, what else can I do to make this more fun? Um, so I know I have some wind deflectors for my handlebars coming,
Cool.
because my hands do get slapped with rocks
Mm,
on some of these dirt roads,
mhm.
and um, I want to get it wrapped because man, it looks so cool wrapped. Like, I see so many videos. I don't know if you saw this one recently. I think Marty may have posted it. It was like this guy had it was glowing almost. Like it looked like it was like a glowing kind of wrap with some backlight that was like underglow, and he was just riding it. It was like this bright like illuminating purple, and it was just so freaking cool.
I gotta check that
Um,
out. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
they have some amazing raps out there. I mean, now coming up, it's the color schemes and the designs and even the metallics, and it's just amazing. Like it's almost hard. Like if you figure, well, I guess I've never seen two bikes wrapped the same.
Yeah.
So that to me is like that's pretty wild that you can actually find that many bikes out there, none two look the same. I'm just worried about my bike. I was actually the first bike to be wrapped on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was the first one
Okay.
to wrap a Ryker on YouTube. That's what actually started me into doing YouTube. Is that when I got the wrap, I said, "Oh, let me try to film this." And then it took off, and I said, "Oh, maybe I could do this for fun." And
Oh.
then it turned into a business. But I'm hoping that I'll never see my bike wrapped the same as everybody else's. But so far, so good. No one's used my wrap yet. I kind of picked a different, but I guess maybe kind of ugly, but different, but nice. I don't know. Mixed. I get mixed compliments about it, but it's just in my scheme. I like it, but yeah, it's amazing how I could see so many bikes and no two are alike unless they pull them out the dealer.
Yeah, that part's true. But honestly, even pulling out the dealer, I've not seen one that looks like mine yet. Either someone has done something to it, or maybe they have a different kind of panels. Most people seem to make that change almost immediately. Like the cosmetic changes are probably the most, immediate changes someone makes to their bike. They want to
Right.
make it look like theirs, and I want to do the same too. But I'm waiting for that perfect moment to like, you know, figure out exactly what I want and then put it on there. I don't want to just put anything on there. I
No,
want to get it custom. I
yeah, no,
want it to
you're
be mine.
right. You're doing it right because I think at some point I was just putting whatever came out on the bike, and then I wind up buying these shock covers,
Mm.
and I got so much crap on the internet about all those things are ugly. But you know what? I bought them. I bought them because I was running out of things to buy. Like when the bike came out, and I was like, they're
Oh.
cheap. I said, let me make a YouTube video putting these on. Everybody's like, those are horrible. Oh my God, why would you cover the springs? And so I was like, look, I'm running out of content. Look, thanks for watching. But I I always say that, you know what, I'm done. I put everything I need on the bike, and then I see something else comes out, and I'll be like, shit, I gotta get this. Oh my goodness, I gotta buy it. And then you know what's worse? Like when somebody will come to me and be like, "Hey, can you put this on my bike?" And they pull up, and I'll be like, "Man, I should have bought that first." You know, now I'm installing it on his bike, but little does he know he's gonna be my next YouTube video. So
Oh, nice. Okay.
yeah, that's what I do. So when they come and get stuff work added onto their bikes or whatever, they drop it off, and I got like this little nickname out here in New York as the Riker Doctor, because everybody who has a problem winds up either calling me or bringing me the bike so I can check it over. Because there's only 2 dealerships in New York
Wow, in the
City.
entire state?
No, in the city. So
Okay.
that handle in my area that handle Can Am's, because they're all authorized retailers. They're not actual Can Am dealers.
Oh, gotcha,
So you got to
gotcha.
go out into the island, but in the boroughs, yeah. So, there's a waiting list. Guys will go and get, bring their bikes in and have to wait a couple of weeks, for oil changes, and, parts are behind. So BRP has a serious problem with getting parts out. So, guys are waiting. So they try to come to me to get stuff done, little stuff like lights and oil changes and windshields put on, anything like that. So,
Huh.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's fun. I get to meet a lot of people. While sometimes when I should be riding, I'm out here filming videos and fixing people's bikes.
You're
What?
doing the Lord's work.
Yeah. So tell me about this. You sent me an email when we were talking. This poker ride. What is that?
Okay, so personally, I've not done one yet. I was actually talking to my brother about it. He's the one who's like, "Yeah, you got to come to the next one." But essentially, what it is you are given a card, and you're given a group of places to go, and you all kind of ride. And at each place, you get another card,
Mm,
and you keep going to each place until you get your full set of cards, and then
mm.
you all meet back up to see who has the best hand, and then whoever does wins a prize, basically.
Oh, that sounds pretty
So
cool.
yeah, it's like it's like a little ride around town with a group of people, and it doesn't really matter if you get there first because you don't get the best card. It's all just kind of shuffled.
Mm,
So something like that I thought was really cool. Um, but Vegas, I mean, I think that we really do have a lot of fun rides out here that we
okay.
try and do. Um, I mean, I see always. I don't know about like in New York how it is with the riding scene out there, but out here I can be driving to California, Arizona, whatever the case is, and you'll see, 100 bikes pass by on the other side of the
Mm,
highway going into Las Vegas. Maybe they're going to Laughlin, maybe they're going to Kingman, whatever the case is. But they always make a stop in Vegas to, have fun. And uh, just the fact that you can reach so many amazing places from Las Vegas and just kind of ride there um, with such great views
mm.
is so cool. Like that's the one thing I love about Vegas is there's no shortage of amazing rides.
Yeah,
Um,
man, that sounds really nice because, like you said, but out here you don't get it. They really organize big rides like that because it's congested here. So
mhm.
when you want to do a big ride out, it's not like, hey, they kind of like organize it so they could have a big group, but it's so congested, you don't really see like, you're sitting on the highway, all of a sudden 300 bikes. That's pretty much organized ride outs or some event going on. You rarely see like just a bunch of guys just wake up in the morning and say, all right, Saturday, we're all going to just shoot this way. You don't have it like that out here.
Yeah, which I mean, or when you go out on a bigger ride, are you like how often do you ever get to go on a bigger ride, or is it very?
Um, I try to go to every big event they have here in New York. Man, they do there's a crew out here called Team Spider NY, and
Hmm.
I'm friends with those guys, and they do small runs. Like they'll get 10, 15 guys together and they'll go to a restaurant, bar, hang out like that. But between work schedule and all the stuff I do here is very hard. But when we have the big rides like Cancer or Freedom Ride or the DMX ride out, those big, huge events, I try to go out and ride out. So, I could ride out and get some footage and things like that. But I tried to make all the big events, and now they have another big event coming up in the Bronx. June 18th is going to be another big ride out event, but it's more like a meet. So everybody's going to ride out to one location. They're going to hang out. There's vendors and, they have music and food and all of that. And then guys hang out and then they ride back because you can't really do too much long riding in the city. It's a lot of traffic, a lot of congestion. So you're not really getting that, hey, let's do 60 miles. You're not going to get that. So basically, it's more like a ride, meet, hang out, ride out, everybody talk and keep it moving like that.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, here in Vegas, you can get from one side of the city to the other. Unlike in New York, you can get from one side to the other 45 minutes tops. You can literally traverse the entirety of Las Vegas. So that's why city riding is not something a lot of people do because you can do it so quick.
Right.
Vegas is not that big, despite what the center looks like. The center,
Yeah.
everyone kind of always says, "Oh, wow, Vegas is huge."
Right.
It's big, but I mean, when you compare it to New York, and let's say you have lived in a bigger city,
Right.
when people tell me it's big, I kind of roll my eyes and all right, yeah, sure. Spend 4 minutes in LA and you know what big is.
Right. No, I hear you. That's absolutely. Hey, I know I talked about it with Marty, that Vegas heat though. So like, I'm curious, what do you guys do out there when you're in, I mean, like your equipment, like what are you riding or like, what are you wearing? Like, what do you do?
It's they do sell like a lot of cooling like materials like shirts and like hats and pants, anything you can to get rid of that moisture and not have it, because I usually wear like a little hat, like a cap
Right.
that's made of a special material. But really it's there's really not a lot you can do except for you really have to take into account. So you either dress lighter, but you risk, losing more body parts as if you were to fall, or you
Yeah.
do the full ride, get up, but you risk passing out from heat. So you got to find that middle
You
balance.
gotta, everybody gotta find their heat stroke balance, right?
Yeah.
You gotta figure out, okay, which equipment am I gonna leave that'll save my life and kind of not save my life?
It's funny because a lot of people out here will wear shorts, and I'm talking on a motorcycle too, not just on a three wheel, but they'll wear shorts and a tank top and ride in that. There is a level of I don't want to say like cockiness, but like you can tell people here are just like they don't care. They're just like, all right, I'm gonna roll out how I want to roll out,
Yeah.
and whatever happens, happens.
I
But
I can't do the tank top and shorts on a bike. I just
yeah, when it's
that to me.
117, come talk to me about that. I'm sure you'll think about it once.
No, I mean, I've sat in New York City traffic at 98 on
Oh
the
God, yeah.
with
Ugh.
with a tractor trailer in front of me and an SUV behind me, and they were cooking me from the front and the back, and the heat, and then the asphalt was cooking. So yeah, I understand the heat, man. Maybe not 110, but when you pull up in the oven,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
basically how New York is. You're oops, and now you're stuck in. Here comes another one alongside you, and he steps on the gas, and his heat comes out. And yeah, I've been there. Like, what am I doing to myself? I should be sitting in my car,
That
But
is actually the nice thing. You're right about that because we do have more open road. So if we do an outside run, we can keep speed. And I guess really it's more about making more frequent stops, making sure you drink a lot of water, making sure that all of your equipment is not overheating and that it's doing all right. Um, but you're absolutely right. Yeah, I'd actually take this heat over the humidity 100% of the time. Growing up in Queens, it was one of those things where, Hispanic families, we love to wrap everything in plastic. So when you wake up, you know,
you gotta
we sound. I
swim.
don't know if
You
have
swim
you ever
out of
ate
that.
those fruit by the foot? I think is what it's called. And you're like peeling it off the plastic. That's what it sounded like every day.
I totally understand that one, bro. I have a lot of Spanish friends. I still remember those days of getting off that couch going, whoa, whoa, man. How do you do? Oh, you get used to it. No, you don't. No, you don't. But I respect that you want to save the sofa for 50 years, okay? Yo, Mike, man. Let me ask you: if you had to describe your Can Am experience in one word or one sentence, how would you describe it?
Oh, life changing.
Hmm.
Um, and then if I were to elaborate on that a little further, really
Sure.
just I didn't have any particular thing that I enjoy doing truly until this. Like there are things that people have hobbies and they
Hmm.
have things that they like to do and whatever the case. I never really had anything that I was like really excited to do. Um, and now that I got this bike, I go out more often and do these stuff. I'll ride just to ride. I have
Hmm.
friends who bought motorcycles, so I'll go ride with them. Um, I met a lot of amazing people, including everyone in the Vegas Record Riders. I mean, obviously you. And I thank you for your time with all this, by the way.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
You're definitely helping out the community and kind of
Thank
pulling
you.
us all together.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
but outside of that, I mean, just the community and the way that I've kind of met everyone, this is definitely life changing for sure.
All right. Hey, I mean, I it hits on all levels, man. Life changing, man. I mean, everybody has an experience, and it's cool. And thank you for the shout out. But yeah, my mission was to start out as just working on a bike to help people because I didn't see too many videos out, and then it turned into this, and then it turned into that, and I'm just like, hey, I really do it for the culture, despite what people think. Oh, there's no money in this. I'm just letting people know it's not like I'm not Mr. Beast. There's no money in this. So everything I do is either out of my pocket or the little bit I'm getting from YouTube and from people helping out. So trust me, everybody, I'm truly doing this for the culture, So, but I appreciate it. I just love the bike. I love the culture, and everybody that have met through this, and they just all been wonderful and supportive. So, I like the community, so I'm just going to continue to try to bring all these experiences for people and, try to get everybody together and, make it one big, family, like,
Yeah, no, it's appreciated.
no,
Um,
no.
what you're doing is definitely gonna, well, first of all, it's gonna pay off. I mean, once you say you're broke now, but once Rolling on 3 is, you know, off and going, it's gonna be crazy.
We
You're gonna
hope.
be able to leave whatever job, just kind of enjoy this money.
Yeah,
So
well, we hope, but that's what I'm trying to do. Listen, do you have any social media or anything you want to put on out there in case somebody want to ride with you or do a meetup, or are you just gonna stick with the?
yeah, I don't really have any social media things that I really would say anything about that. I mean, Vegas Record Riders, you can always
Okay,
look up their page. I'm on there. They're all
okay.
riding. Marty T is always there. Hit them up. But if you're ever in Vegas, yeah, I mean, reach out to them. And
Mm-hmm.
if you don't want to reach out, that's fine. Just enjoy the ride. Be
Mm-hmm.
safe. Be incredibly safe when it comes to drinking. Don't do it, please. And ride. But
No,
have a good
that's
time in Vegas.
all right. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I got to get there soon one day. Wife is telling me, so I'm gonna work it out with Marty. Tell him I'm gonna come down there and hang out. But
you
do
have a
some.
you have a whole squad waiting for you, man.
Yeah, I know he told me, man. But yo, everybody, man, yo, thanks for listening, man. Mike, you a great guest, and check out Vegas Riker Riders. That's with a Z. He's riding with that crew. Great organization. I spoke to all the guys there. Just a bunch of nice guys. So if you're down in Vegas, across in Vegas for me, stop by and hit them up on their social media platforms. I'm Keith Hammer. This is Rolling on Three, the podcast for all three wheelers. If you want to meet me. Well, you're always going to meet me. But if you want to be on the podcast, you can email me at rollingon3wheels@gmail. That's rolling on three, the number three. You can find me on Instagram as Shadow Black Riker. You can find me on Twitter, Rolling on Three. You can find me on TikTok, Rolling on Three. And I think if you just put a hashtag Rolling on Three, you're gonna see everything I have because I'm trying to get as much social media as I can. So listen, appreciate it. Thank you for listening. Those who listen, those who are watching, thank you for the support, like and subscribe. Mike, man, it was great talking to you, man. Thanks for giving me your time. I
Yeah,
appreciate
absolute
that.
pleasure. Thank you.